Hello, welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks, Top 5 Comics for the week of June 1st, 2022. I'm Tommy, joined by Murphy.
Hello.
Murphy's a little under the weather, but he's able to join us today. And we are going to be going over the top 5 books for the week. But before we do that, we are quickly approaching our 200 subs, and we are going to be giving away a book. We are going to be giving away this 9.8 CGC graded King in Black #1, signed by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. A very cool book, variant cover, null CGC signature series. It's a pretty cool book to have in your collection, if I'd say so. But
for sure,
all you have to do to win this book is leave a comment down below with one of your top picks, your top pick for the week, and then live in the United States so we can mail it to you. And then that's all you got to do. You can, if you haven't entered already, you can go back to the previous week's episodes and leave a comment, and that will give you another ticket into the raffle to give it away. Once we hit 200 subs, we'll do a little stream. We'll do a little lottery poll. Ducks are going to race across the screen. And yeah, it'll be fun, and we'll give it away to somebody. So, without further ado, let's dive into...
What if the reason we don't have that many comments is because everyone lives in, like, Australia?
If you live in a different country, comment your country below, because I'd be very curious. Because I think we can vaguely look that up in the analytics, but not 100% sure.
And, like, what if we had just, like, the most European fan base there ever was?
And they're just like, oh, we can't even enter it.
It's like, oh, I can't even join.
So, curious. Leave your country down below if it is not. And maybe when shipping doesn't cost an arm and a leg to ship internationally, we will open that back up. But let's dive into the top 5 picks for the week, starting off with number 5, Justice League Road to Dark Crisis #1.
All right, so this one is 5 stories in one issue. There are a lot of writers, pretty much anybody who's written for DC recently, same with artists. But the titles are Team Up, Life of Purpose, Survivors, The Pariah, and Because the Night. Synopsis reads, the Justice League has tragically fallen in battle, and now we see the aftermath. How does the world react to the Justice League being gone? Which heroes rise up, and which villains try to take advantage? And what dark forces are lying in wait to attack? An all-star roster of DC talent showcases a world without a Justice League and sets the stage for the next month's Dark Crisis event.
Okay, so here's the thing with descriptions and a bunch of stories. It's obviously setting up different characters for the events that are about to happen, like where different characters are entering, and they kind of break it up in the cover. Like maybe we get a small Flash story, a small Green Lantern, Aqualad, Nightwing, Superman. Can't tell who else that is. But essentially, they have to be very bland and vague, because I feel like they just vomited up a bunch of
they're just
crisis
it all
event
at us.
terms. So not really much to guess here. It could be a cool series. It could be just another boring crisis. I don't know. We'll see. Another boring DC event.
Like issues like this, though, as far as spec goes, recently they've been throwing like first appearances or like outlandish things into these issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like the alphas, the omegas, the road to, so on and so on.
Right.
So we could possibly see something like generational change.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In this new issue.
Yeah, and that could be setting up for events. It's going to be setting up for events in the main series, so we're probably going to get some preview as to what those changes could be.
I will say, Nightwing giving like the eulogy for the Justice League in the Free Comic Book Day issue. Wow.
Couldn't have picked a better guy.
Yeah, right. That had to be Dick Grayson. He did it just right.
Cool. Do you think I could just hop on with that issue? Because I'm a little behind. Okay.
Knowing you, read Nightwing, obviously.
Yeah.
And Batman. But, like, as far as the Justice League goes, I like Bendis. I do.
Yeah.
But I don't think that this run was anything crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, and Dark Crisis, I think, will be a good restart, as most of these big events usually are, especially with the Justice League.
Right.
Like, they're a good restart point. I think that this is going to be a great place to just jump on.
Cool.
With Justice League.
Cool.
Like, read Death of the Justice League, like issue 75.
Yeah.
Just to know what happened. Then the free comic book day, and then this. And I think like, anybody would be up to date.
Cool. That's good to know. But yeah, again, we don't know, so we'll see. Yeah, I really like this variant cover with all the long boxes.
Yeah, me too. Who is that sitting on it? I'd assume a monitor of some sort, right?
Probably. I guess
this is going. Out. Yeah.
Maybe there's Kite Man. Is it Kite Man? No. I'm just seeing green.
No, it can't be Kite Man. Angle Man? Jesus.
Just taking a look at all the characters and trying. I was going to see, because it might have been. My first thought was Ra's al Ghul. But.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I don't think so.
No.
I think it's got to be a monitor.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Some sort.
Cool. Well, number 4, we have Super Freaks number 1. It's when Finn addicts take control, celebrating 10 years of the Savage Fincast podcast. With an official fan tribute to everyone's favorite Finn head, Savage Dragon fans unite to produce one of the wildest comics ever created. It's crude, it's rude, it's hilarious. It's the most offbeat, off-the-wall comic book ever committed to paper. Super Freaks comes with our highest possible recommendation. So, it's based on Savage Dragon, and it's a one-shot, I think, as an homage to the podcast reaching 10 years, which is a feat for sure. Dedication for sure. But yeah, and then it's just it has a large list of writers and artists, and I'm sure these are all people that very much care about Savage Dragon. I've never gotten into it too much. I have read some and have enjoyed it, just wasn't necessarily always on the top of my list. But
you see that everybody under this creators list is a writer and
an artist? Yeah, which I thought was
except Eric Larson, who's just a cover artist. But like,
yeah,
that's 20 names. That's 20 people who are writing and drawing. Yeah, I feel bad that I've never read Savage Dragon. I do.
Well, here's your chance to pick one up.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like these
collection. I've seen like Savage Dragon 1 and stuff like that. Like,
I have some of the early Savage Dragon.
Like, I never read it.
Yeah.
It's one of my failings.
In some of my recent pickups at different, like, one was an estate sale and the other one was at like a flea market. They had just a bunch of like really early 90s comics, like in decent shape, not like 9.8s or anything, but I'd say like 7, 8 or like 8, 8.5. Yeah. And they were selling them for $2 each. Let's say I walked away with about 30 books. I couldn't resist. Like, there was a bunch of really Wildcats, Savage Dragons, Cyberforce, Spawn, that kind of stuff.
All the early Image stuff.
Yeah. I think like Pharaoh. I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to read them all, but I just thought it'd be cool, a way to check out Savage Dragon if you haven't before, and in a fun, neat way, if you like it, pick up the main series or not, or go back and pick up some volumes of it. And then number 3, we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man 38.
Yeah. Right, so this one from writer Saladin Ahmed, who's been big on Spider-Man and specifically Miles, and then artist Alberto Folk. It's Empire of the Spider Part 1. Next stop, the Empire of the Spider. Miles and Shift hunt through the multiverse. Multiverse lands them back in Brooklyn. It's not the home they know, but the Empire of the Spider. A timeline where Miles' clone Salim is victorious, and the only thing standing in the evil Spider-Man's way is a rebellion led by General Genki and a very grown-up and extremely badass Capitan Billy. So this one is the one I've been waiting for.
Okay. I have not been reading this.
Since we had done on one of the early top 5s where Miles goes into the multiverse.
Right.
This is the one that I've been waiting for. Because this is basically like the lead up to it. Miles is going between dimensions with his clone Shift.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, as he gets in, he sees that he died.
Interesting. Okay.
And so he's going into this basically like fascist world run by his evil clone. So this one I'm super pumped for.
Would this be a jumping on point?
I mean, it could be. I mean, this series has been pretty
because it does say part 1.
Yeah, so it's part 1 of this because I think they'll probably be there for 3 issues.
Okay.
Like, so we're getting Genki as like, instead of guy in the chair, he's gonna be a badass, you know. But Billy, Capitan Billy, is going to be the first appearance of Miles' little sister.
Oh.
As like a character outside of being a baby.
Right. Okay.
And there's a lot of spec around her, certainly. So
sure,
it's going to be a good one, like, for her development. But the series has gone pretty wild. Like it you know, it's gone all over the place. Now it's in a multiversal event. It's hard to call it a jumping on point.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
Know? Whereas I kind of feel like any time would be good to just get in on this series. Like, the early issues were kind of slow, and then it's just picked up steam steadily, you know, especially as Miles has grown in popularity.
Right.
Everything, they just keep going. So it's hard to call it a jumping on point, but it's always a good time to jump on, in my opinion.
It's fair. Cool.
Because I think that this evil clone is going to ruin Peter Parker's day in that universe.
Oh.
Which is always, you know, as much as it breaks my heart, it's always fun to see.
Right.
Like 2 spiders fighting it out.
Oh, yeah. It's always, yeah. Right. That's why they make all the covers with Spider-Man fighting Spider-Man. But, cool. Anything else before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. Number 2, we got Batman 2022 annual. So I guess they're not numbering the annuals anymore. They're just doing it by year, which I thought was an interesting change because it used to always be like Batman 22 annual number 1, even though there would only be 1 annual.
Yeah.
But so under new management, following the events of the Abyss story arc, Batman has now tasked Ghostmaker to finance and lead Batman Incorporated. First order of business for the new management: clean up a huge mess Luthor created in Chechnya. But is Chechnya? Chechnya? Chechnya. But is this new group ready to face fearsome new threat, the Grey Wolf, and prepare yourself for the evolution of Clown Hunter? So a bunch of stuff to break down here. 1, it's setting up Batman Inc. again. Maybe we'll get a Batman Inc. book back. So this would be like the third volume. More Ghostmaker. I'm definitely down for more Ghostmaker. And down for more Clown Hunter. So is that... And then the new thread of Grey Wolf, that sounds like a new character, maybe? I've never heard of Grey Wolf before.
In the main... First off, what I want to say about annuals is there aren't enough annuals anymore.
No.
Spider-Man hasn't had an annual since like 2018.
But they have an issue like every other week.
Yeah, but still, annuals, man. But now, when
I feel like
Williamson
DC has
took over,
Bat books have too many annuals.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, when Williamson took over Batman after Tynion was done, they started bringing back Batman Inc.
Okay.
So how this says, like, following the events of the Abyss story arc.
Right.
That's like right when Batman leaves Gotham, and he goes he's chasing after this guy Abyss, and it turns out that Abyss is like heavily tied to Batman Inc. And Luthor is running Batman Inc. He, like, now that Bruce Wayne had no money after Joker War, Lex Luthor is like funding Batman Inc. and trying to get them to stop Abyss.
Interesting.
And so on. So this is then, after that all obviously blows up in Lex Luthor's face, this is going to be the next iteration. So I think, yeah, we definitely could see a Batman Inc. Book again, because they've been not heavily, but, you know, pretty involved in the Batman story.
Right.
And especially now if a new major character like Ghostmaker and Clown Hunter are going to be joining.
Right.
Like, they're definitely going to be something to see. But yeah, Grey Wolf is new.
Yeah.
As far as, like, that might be Williamson's last, like, big thing. Is actually, who's even writing this?
Ed Bryson.
So maybe not even Williamson.
Yeah, he's not on the letterhead.
No. But so I think that'll be a new villain, and like you and I were talking about, the evolution of Clown Hunter.
Yeah.
From, like,
I'm
the tie and the vest to,
I'm so glad
he's got like a blue suit of armor.
Yeah, I'm super glad they're keeping him around.
Him and Ghostmaker.
Yeah.
I think that the Tynion and Jimenez, like, run.
Yeah.
They did
all those characters
so well, though.
Yeah.
That I think that's kind of part of why they're not being written out. The Clown Hunter's, like, almost written out of Batman. Okay. I think that Tynion did those two so well to a degree that they don't know what to do right now.
That's fair.
So they might be getting sent over to a Batman Inc. book just because of the fact that they're both very good, popular characters
that people want to see more of.
You know, but I almost feel like Zdarsky's not gonna want to deal with all these extra characters.
I think Zdarsky will use both of these characters. I don't think he can resist.
That's fair.
I don't.
But yeah, so I mean, that might be part of the evolution of him. Like, Clown Hunter might go through a very, like, obvious transition because he goes from little kid who hates the Joker to full-blown badass vigilante.
Right.
Whereas Ghostmaker, it's more of a he shows emotions type of transformation.
Right.
Than anything else. Not even emotions, but, like, he's more personable. But no, I think that this book's going to be good for showing the growth of those two characters specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, that's exciting.
Only one variant, though.
I know. It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
It reminds me of, like, a Walking Dead.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Michonne.
just because there's a sword involved.
Yeah. Well, and a bunch of like zombie looking.
It's the people of Gotham, man.
Yeah. Wild. All right, that leads us to our number one, the closet number one. This has more than one variant.
Yes, well, it's better, right? So this is written by one of Tommy and my favorites, Tynion, James Tynion the Fourth, artist Gavin Fullerton, and it says Tom is moving cross country with his family and dragging the past along with them. His son Jamie is seeing monsters in the bedroom closet and will not let them go. A tale of existential familial horror by James Tynion the Fourth and Gavin Fullerton. This one's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
I can't say that there's anything Tynion's done that I don't like. And I even came on to, kind of picked up with them later after talking with you more.
Yeah. Did you ever read Batman and Robin Eternal?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Because he didn't start that much earlier than that.
No, but I didn't really pay attention.
Oh yeah.
If I'm being honest, like it wasn't until something is killing the children.
Oh right, yeah.
And even then, I didn't even like pick it up that fast.
So this is only going to be 3 issues.
Oh really?
1, 2, 3. So it's a short story. They're going to have a ton of covers for every single one. A lot of it reminds me of Razor Blades. I feel like this is a story that I wouldn't be surprised if this was a story that like they originally started writing as a Razor Blade story and then it was too long. So they made it like a mini series.
Yeah. I just love that he's brought horror like to the forefront almost.
Oh, absolutely.
Like everywhere you turn,
everyone's trying to replicate what he did with Something's Killing the Children.
There's about to be like a Tom King horror comic coming out.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's into terror and everything, and that's because of what Tynion's done.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he quit Batman
Unicorn
just to go, just to go do more like good horror comics.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
have you ever read any of Razor Blades?
I've read some of it. It's on my list of things to.
It is
really catch up on
and dark.
Yeah.
Like some of them, they're dark. I've never read anything like it, and they also have really cool interviews in them too. I think it was the first or second issue. He had an interview with Scott Snyder about witches and writing horror. Because Tynion was a student of Scott Snyder's.
Yeah, Scott Snyder just had Tynion on. He's doing that writing class.
Seminar. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tynion was just part of that. So that's they probably went hand in hand.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited for this one. I'll eat up anything he does at this point.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to go too crazy with the variants, but we'll see what's.
I can't afford them, man.
Yeah, they're not cheap. These ones are not cheap.
I pay for too many Spider-Man variants.
That's fair. By too many, you mean all of them.
No, I chose my path.
Yep.
And this is it.
That's fair. Cool. Well, we have run a little bit long, but anything else you wanted to say on the closet before we wrap up? Cool. All right. Well, enjoy your week of comics. Leave a comment down below what your top pick was so that you can get entered in to win the 200 sub giveaway, the King in Black #1. And yeah, until next time, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.